welcome to this week's installment of At the Tavern. I am always Tyler.
And I guess I'm always Patrick.
And we have us with us today. We have Dan from Letiman Games. Say hi, Dan.
Hey guys, how you doing?
All right, well let's get rocking and rolling. All right.
So we have our crowdfunding campaign to start on May 4th.
May the 4th be with you. However, Revenge of the 5th is my favorite day.
Where are you guys launching your campaign on?
We're launching it on Indiegogo because we're doing it for some startup money so that we can really get everything with Space Tavern Games rolling at once, rather than.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are doing Patreon, but I think those are more podcasts that have been going for a while that are trying to get their fan base more involved. Are you guys just trying to build it up and start out, like you said, on Indiegogo and go from there?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah,
for now. We have a pretty decent following, I think.
Yeah, we have a pretty good following, and we have a lot of stretch goals and rewards really worked out. We spent like 20 hours figuring out how everything would work on the campaign itself.
Yeah, we're launching for startup money for the company, but on top of that, we're also focusing on
all of our projects that
we've announced before that will be launched through that, like original series, mini series, and stuff like that.
And games.
Naturally.
Awesome. Murphy's this week just didn't happen because they've been focusing on getting everything ready for the crowdfunding campaign. So.
Also, this is pretty big. Murphy's is being combined into the world of Catacombs and Cataclysms. There's going to be 2 RPGs that we're releasing in that realm. One's for the 8 years plus, and the other one's for 13 years plus. The 13 years plus is going to be a tactical RPG, as opposed to just the 8 years plus is just going to be a standalone RPG, where the system is not going to be interfaced with a mini
a mini war game is the word she's trying to say. We're also haven't come up with a name yet, but we have been kicking around a new tactical RPG set in a modern setting. So keep an eye out for any press release regarding that.
Yeah, I think we should call it Bowl of Red Drink Energy. Yeah, that was just a joke. Red Bull, please sponsor us.
Yeah, that's our cry for help right there. What's next?
We're going to be brewing our own mead that you can buy in our store.
Eventually.
I mean,
so that's new.
That's pretty cool.
What else we got? Anything else? What else do you do this week?
Crowdfunding, Murphy's announcement thing, the 3rd game. We announced the truck driving game yet?
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, we announced it last week.
Kind of.
We announced the idea. There'll be an official press release coming out soon for it. We are also designing a game that we're dedicating to our grandfather who recently passed away. He was a truck driver, so we're going to be creating a truck driving tabletop game of one form or another. Right now, we've kicking around using a board. We're kicking around using cards. So
basing some of it off his adventures.
Yeah, some of his crazy adventures. So keep an eye out for that, and more information to come on that.
Yeah. So I think
that's it for us, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Watch for us Indiegogo May 4th because we're awesome.
Yeah, because you love us, maybe. Okay. So without further ado, Dan,
tell us about yourself.
So my name is Dan Letstring. I live in Rochester, New York, and for the last couple of years, I've been working on designing games and self-publishing. So I'm trying to get my first kind of real mainstream game going. I launched on Kickstarter a couple of months ago and got to about 50% of the goal. So I've been revamping it and trying to launch it again and get it out this time.
Awesome. Yeah.
So loyal fans, also give us money, but give him money.
Yes. Please.
I would appreciate that a lot. I'll take any money they want to give.
Yeah, we'll definitely push that when it comes out as well, or we'll push that actually now because it is out. Dino Dude Ranch is on Kickstarter right now. Yeah.
No, it's going to be launching on May 19th. Actually,
May 19th Kickstarter.
Okay. You have another game that's out. You want to tell us a little bit about? PhD the game.
That's right. That's kind of what got me into it. I was in grad school for 6 years. That's why I'm in Rochester, and I mean it sucks a lot of the time, and it's hard and you're miserable, and a lot of the people go through the same things and they hate it. So I kind of wanted to make fun of it. There are like comic strips that make fun of going to grad school, and I kind of wanted a game that did the same thing, and cards that just kind of embodied all the stuff that you hate about it. And so I kind of made a really take that. It's a very light game, and it's kind of meant for people who might not necessarily be into games, just because I wanted it accessible to everyone who goes to grad school, really. But yeah, so I made it. It's a fun little filler card game. It takes about 20 minutes to play, and I said if you like take that and card games, it's pretty cool.
I can say as a current master's student, I'm actually really interested in it.
Nice. I can send you some PMP files so you can check out the cards and see what they're like.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Do you have a PhD or do you have a master's? Is that what did you wind up getting in?
He's an archaeologist, first of all, and he's collecting DNA to create Jurassic Park.
Well, naturally. Yeah, that's the secret to my success here. So I got a bachelor's in physics, and then I got a master's and a PhD in biophysics after that. So.
I love physics.
So do you handle space-related things?
No, I actually don't use any of my degrees. So
it's biological physics, dude.
I work at a crime lab. I'm a forensics examiner.
That's cool. I think you just became the coolest guest we've ever had. Or the guest with the coolest day job.
Yeah, coolest day job ever.
So, yeah, I enjoy it.
You win the orphan.
I got a physics joke. I'll save it for later, though.
So tell us a little bit about Dino Dude Ranch. From what we've been exploring about it, it seems like the art is geared towards a younger audience, or is that just like you went for a more comedic thing? Or just tell us a little bit about the game and what the goal is and audience's intention and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, so I don't know. It was hard. It took me a while to find the audience because I went back and forth. I wanted it to be fun for adults and accessible for kids, and it's kind of sometimes hard balancing that. And so I guess where I ended is it's fun for adults. They can play it without kids, but definitely kids 8+ can play it. The cards can have some, wordy issues, so that's really why below 8 it really won't work. But we've got some rule variants that actually kids down to like 3 can play, which is pretty cool. But I brought it to game groups, and I have some adult friends who brought it to game groups, and they play with just 4 adults, and they all have a blast with it too. So that's really what I was going for. It'd be more a filler though. It'd be on the lighter side for a gaming group or a game night. But if you have 20 minutes between games and you want to have some fun, that's not like something completely heavy. It definitely does the trick, and it's fun for just adults. But then you can pull your 5-6-year-old in, 8-year-old or 10-year-old in, and play with them, and it gives them something to think about. That's it's just a little bit more than traditional, say, kids games or things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sure. How do you develop your games?
Well, so this one started. There was a contest posted on the Game Crafter website, and the point was for family gateway type games. And I came up with a different idea, and it was kind of Machikoro mechanics, like a little bit different, but it was a lot like Machikoro in scoring and things like that. And I started playtesting it, and so I developed the game and the core mechanics with a different theme, and I playtested it with myself and my wife first, and then I started bringing it to friends. And once people seemed to enjoy it, and we kind of worked some of the initial bugs out, I started bringing it to local meetup groups and game nights, things like that. And once it developed into a full game, I wanted something different. I was like, farms are boring, they're overdone. And, there aren't really any dinosaur games, and I know I love dinosaurs, I still do. Every kid in the world, I think, does. And I thought throwing dinosaurs on a modern-day ranch was kind of a cool twist and just a little bit different. So, I went from there, and when I rethemed it, though, it didn't really go with the mechanics, and so I kind of reformed the game and adjusted the mechanics to fit everything that was happening.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, when you were making this game, how did you come up with the mechanics?
I don't know. Like I said, the initial mechanics, it was I wanted a random uh, pool of dinosaurs or they were animals at first, and you kind of I wanted you to have a selection which ones you'd buy, and you'd roll and get points for the ones that were on your ranch, which is why it was kind of like Machikoro. You buy the cards for them, you'd roll and get that, and I don't know, the mechanics just kind of flowed to what I was thinking at the time. I mean, there was really no science or rhyme or reason behind it. And then when I switched to dinosaurs, I had to think about it because when it was all money based, and I switched to like leaves, meat, and fish, and the things the dinosaurs might eat.
Mm-hmm.
And so once I switched to that, I really had to think about how the mechanics work. And then I had certain bonuses that were like global bonuses everyone would attain for, and they kind of switched to hidden. Everyone has a hidden that they're trying to collect or things like that. And that was just through playtesting it and finding what worked and what didn't, and what kind of held the game flow well and what people liked when they played it. It was a very much a throw some things in, try it out, adjust it to make it work a little better. There were times I had certain resources that would pool a lot, and I would just have, you'd roll and get a lot of the things, and it wasn't what you wanted, so I had to develop mechanics to kind of get around that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, to mitigate bad rolls, if you're rolling and you're not getting the resources you want, basically my deck of cards, that the cards are great, and they're one of the best parts of the game. They allow you to get cheaper or free dinosaurs or more resources. You can buy them for any 2 resources. So it doesn't matter what you're rolling, because if you're not getting the resources to buy the dinosaurs you want, you can just use it to buy cards. And so it kind of, that just developed from, people getting bad rolls during playtests, or seeing people pull a certain resource and be like, well, I need a way around this, and troubleshooting that.
Cool. So when can we get a copy, and when can we play it?
Well, I don't have any extra copies right now. They're all being demoed and whatnot, but if it successfully funds, hopefully by the end of the year, I would love to have it fulfilled by Christmas.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if that's shooting high, because we're manufacturing it overseas.
Mm-hmm.
All that, it might not work out, but that would be a great goal, is by the holidays.
So how have you been building exposure for Dino Dude Ranch?
So I've been taking it to local meetup groups. I'm actually, in a week, my local library is doing family game nights the whole week. And so I'm going to be taking it. It's perfect. It's my perfect audience. So I'm taking it to events like that are just like families, and any group I can. I went to International Tabletop Day a couple weeks ago, and had my local store gave me a table, and I did a giveaway and everything for everyone who demoed the game and whatnot. And so I did that. My first time launching, I did some written interviews, podcast interviews, through social media connections like that. Trying to think of, there are a lot of ways I've been trying to get this out, but those are the main things. The first launch helped a lot too, because although I didn't fund, it got a lot of people who were really interested in the project. Yeah. And so it's been cool, because I've been trying to update all of the artwork and the layout, and I can throw a couple options out there, and everyone's giving me input on what they like the best and what helps. So it's really cool to have the community who was interested the first time around help the game evolve.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many questions I have to ask.
So little time.
Well, we have all night.
These are good. A couple little ones. Yeah.
My wife will kill me, and my kids will get me up at 5 or 6, no matter what. So.
I know how that goes.
Oh yeah, you can stay up all night, and they just don't know how late you stayed up, and they're like, "Dad, let's play."
Well, my oldest, she comes running in, and she goes, "Sun up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the sun's up. Guess I'll get out of bed."
Meanwhile, Dad just got into bed. So, tell us how long it's been. How long the process has been for you for Dino Dude Ranch.
It's been about a year, probably a little over a year. What I do though is, I have a couple other ideas going at the same time, but once I get really running with something, I sideline everything else. So once I really started moving with Dino Dude Ranch, I haven't been focusing on any other ideas or games or anything like that. I've just been pouring everything into it, and so I've really just been working hard on that for like the last year, I'd say. And even still, like, I mean, it's ready, but I still am trying to develop everything to make it even better. Even the cards that I mentioned, they're not getting changed, and their actions aren't getting changed, but I'm actually retheming them to actually fit the theme of the game more than what they were before. And it's just little tweaks like that that I'm just always, putting into it to make it better.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, with all that, how do you find time to be a father?
I just don't sleep, really. That's what happens. So typically I wake up in the morning and let my wife sleep and I play with my kids. And then I go to work when she gets up. I get home from work, I play with my kids till they go to bed. My wife goes to bed, and then I stay up late doing game stuff.
At least you get some quiet time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but I'm tired a lot of the time.
That's why we recommend Red Bull, the energy drink.
Then I'll never go to bed. I just pump a gallon of coffee inside myself all day.
That also works.
That works.
We also support coffee here at FCG.
Specifically, Folger's Breakfast Blend.
How are you?
So what advice?
This reminded me of, Wayne's World 2? When he's Newprin, little, yellow, different.
I love the Wayne's World where they have the whole... Everybody thinks we're selling out. What do you mean? One of my favorite parts of the movie.
So what advice can you offer to other developers and those that are consider going into this market?
And you have an interesting perspective as well, since you come from a familial standpoint. I did just use the word familial, which I'm actually pretty impressed with myself. So there's probably people out there that are thinking about getting into games, but they're like, oh, I don't have time. So what advice can you give to those kinds of people as well?
So I guess, yeah, I mean, the one thing is, I mean, you can always find time and work at it. There's no rush to get it out the door, right? So put the time in and work on it when you can, and don't rush it out just because you have a great idea, because that's another thing. Sometimes people get a great idea and they just want to get it out there immediately, but you got to, obviously make it better, make it perfect, make it work. And I think the big thing I've found with this game too is take advice, definitely, obviously take advice, but still you control the project, and you gotta do what you think's best also, because everyone always has an opinion, and everyone's opinion's different, and sometimes people would suggest things and I'd add it, and then it just would alienate a certain audience I was shooting for, and so you just kind of have to define where you're going with the project, and sometimes you do have to make tough decisions, or cut something out that you even want to add, or there were a couple things I added that at first I was hesitant to, but the playtesters or people playing it loved it, and I was like, if they like it, who am I to say that it's a bad idea or whatever it might be? And so a couple things I kept in, even though I was a little hesitant about it, just because it seemed to playtest and work really well. And so, I don't know, just you have to go with your gut on it. You can't listen to everybody, but you should take all the advice, but you got to filter it and find what works best.
Right on. So, where can our viewers and listeners go to find out more about you and your games?
So I have a website. I can send you guys a link if you want. It's letimangames.com. I mean, Twitter is the easiest for me. I can access it and do pretty much all my gaming related everything on Twitter. So again, at Letiman Games, you guys posted about it, so everyone can find that there. And I can, if you guys want, send you a link for the Kickstarter preview page, so you can maybe share that as well, so that'll get that out there, and everyone can check it out.
Awesome. And I see that your last update on your website was 2/18/2015.
Yeah, that's right. I don't frequent the website. Well, I do. I don't post a ton of announcements on there, though. Most of them I do on Twitter, and some I do on Facebook. But I'm most active on Twitter. I probably post there, if not every day, every other day or so. So.
Yeah. Let's see here.
All right. Well, I guess we can move on to the news.
Yeah, I got some.
We got a lot of stuff from you, Dan. That's awesome. So, and if there's like minor things we didn't cover that people want to listen about, check out the website, check out the Twitter, check out the Facebook.
You can also ask him.
Yeah,
on
also
Twitter.
ask him.
He responds to you.
So, first bit of news that I came across. There's not much news going on this week that I found terribly interesting, but there is a Magic card tournament in Las Vegas trying to break the world record for people playing with 10,000 players. The last time the record was broken was from the World Series of Poker in 2006, and they had 8,773 players. So, I think it'd be kind of cool, even though I've been out of the Magic loop for a while. Slowly getting back into it.
I'd go in and be like, that's a land. It does stuff.
That's land. Tap land. Land does things. You live. I think it would just be cool to have any kind of recognizable game break that kind of record rather than have poker hold it.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Especially,
I'm tired of hearing about poker.
I think anything that brings, like you said, anything that brings people into the hobby and, you know, helps it get more traction and people recognize it more, I think always helps. So I find it seems Magic is a whole different world than board games sometimes. I mean, even when you go to stores, some stores just completely tailor to one end or the other, and you wish they could kind of make it all mesh, but
see, that's what we're doing. We're making it all mesh.
I like that.
When we get our storefront up and running, we'll be making it all mesh. We don't just cater to Magic players or Star Wars X-Wing players or Warhammer 40K. We cater to everyone. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it sounds awesome. I hope it works out for you because that would be groundbreaking and amazing.
It'd be super amazing.
yeah.
Honestly.
As we've mentioned before on previous podcasts, we're very much community people. Must be the Irish in us.
Yeah.
You know,
Or the Norwegian.
But instead of drinking, we're playing games with everybody else.
We're gonna have our mead.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna be serving mead at the store?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a bar built into it.
I gotta drive out to Carlisle. Where are you guys?
Carlisle.
Carlisle? I gotta drive out to Carlisle and check this place out.
That'd be awesome to have you down there.
Yeah.
Play some Dino Dude Ranch, show for some mead.
Yeah. We'll give you a table. And
Yeah, we'll come down and do a big demo.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Zoning out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So also going into playability and bringing games to other people, Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition is now available on Steam.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a second. let's check this out here for a second. That is D&D Online, Neverwinter.
By Fantasy Grounds.
Oh, Fantasy Grounds is probably the name of the game. Huh. You still here, Stan? You still there?
Yeah, I'm just on the edge of my seat waiting for you.
Oh.
It's there. It's called Fantasy Grounds.
Yes.
But it is the licensed, officially licensed D&D modules available on Steam. The first products are available are the Complete Core Class Pack, Complete Core Monster Pack, and the Lost Mine of Fandelver. It includes all official artwork and maps from the physical release, and now you don't have to let the constraint of physical distance keep you from gaming with your friends.
So it sounds like they took Roll20 and made it into a virtual tabletop, which is really, really
And
cool.
book.
And book. All right. My other beta news that I found, which is
You don't
kind
want
of,
to talk about this?
well, I mean, it's awesome. I don't know what else you want to add.
Dan, anything you want
Dan,
to add?
anything you want to add about that? Are you a D&D player?
I gotta confess, I'm not really a Steam player or a D&D player, so for me that's a little outside my realm. But
All right.
there are a lot of cool things going on there. There's a lot of people I talked to have been using. It's called Tabletop Simulator. Have you seen that?
I've heard a lot about that.
Yeah, and a lot of people are using it for like how-to or demos for Kickstarter campaigns or things like that. And it's great for like card games because people can kind of try it out without without having to do a whole lot. I mean,
once the spring sale comes around, I'm probably gonna get it, and then we'll probably do some kind of Twitch with it or something or other.
Yeah, I thought about doing a tabletop simulator of Dino Dude Ranch, but there's a lot of components, custom dice, and it's just really like it's even like why people have been asking for a print and play, and I'm like, honestly, it's not. I mean, there's 70 dinosaur and tar pit tiles. There's all the food pieces, the custom dice. By the time you make it all, I mean, it's not. No one wants to do all that work for a B&B.
Right.
You know, not a card game or something where you can just print it, cut it, and be done.
Yeah. So next on the list is probably going to upset us a little bit, Pat. Fantasy Flight, if you can believe it, has made Force and Destiny the Star Wars beginner game.
What?
It's a beginner RPG for anybody who's never played any kind of role-playing game in their life. It is a Star Wars-themed role-playing game.
That's really cool.
That's really cool, and it's also what we're going to be doing with CNC, which is kind of a little upsetting.
Yeah, but different realm.
Different world.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. So
Is that what your RPG was going to be, like a RPG for anyone who's never done one before? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we're aiming for a younger audience and really for people who've never played before.
Yeah, just so like
the TV show that I'm writing that goes with it is about a group of kids who've never played before, and they get sucked into how amazing it is to play in a tabletop RPG. And we wanted to create a game that goes with it that captures that same feel, where it's just for people who've never played before.
I think that's a great brain and fact that you can play the show and the game together and do both. That's pretty awesome. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, that's one of the goals.
One of the stretch goals.
Yeah.
So,
how old are you shooting for? Like what age?
8 to 13. I think.
Yeah, 8 to 13. I mean, anyone can play it, obviously, but
right.
That's the age range we're going for.
Because we know how intimidating large rule books of other RPGs can be, so we decided to try to make something that's compact and small and plays really easily and you can really get into. So that's all I have for the news.
Yeah.
So then have you found the same kind of problems that I was describing, where you're trying to please adults and kids and make it great for kids, great for adults and kids, and great for adults only, and there are just sometimes clashing forces with that.
Yeah, some of the verbiage we're finding we have to use just so it doesn't confuse younger kids. We don't want to make it so it's insulting to adults who are playing it.
We're working with the assumption that most families have never played any kind of role-playing game.
Yeah.
So if they decide to play with their kids, it won't be insanely difficult or overwhelming or anything like that.
Cool.
Another reason we're making it is so I just use the 3 words I hate using the most.
So
Yeah. I hate those words. But it's being made with the purpose of giving kids those skills that they're not getting anymore, like problem solving and communication. Because nowadays, what are kids running around with cell phones? How do they talk to people texting?
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I wanted to target, because my first game obviously wasn't a family-oriented game, and with this next one, I kind of had to decide where my company was going, and I wanted to hit that family audience because, like you said, I want to encourage that face-to-face time. Families sitting at the table on a safe Friday, Saturday night,
Rainy
kid, yeah, and just playing a game instead of the kids just surfing Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is. They can still do that, but when you have your weekend nights with your family or something, and the kids are kind of younger too, you want to interact, have fun, laugh, and talk to each other. And I wanted to encourage that with the type of games. That's why I want to, not just with Dino Dude Ranch, but my next few games, I have something else that I'm working on too that we want to kind of still hit that spot that it's just encourages families to get together, get off their asses, and hang out face to face and play. And that's really
Yeah, absolutely. And if these things keep going the way they're going, no one's going to know how to communicate anymore. You go into a job and be like, let me text you my response to that question.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's it for the news.
Yeah. Questions.
Well, the question we always ask is, where did you get your start at? Yeah, like what games did you start playing and that really got you into the tabletop world?
Well, I mean, so I've been playing games since I was a kid, but they were, more of the modern, I guess, would be Ameritrash type games or whatever people want to define them as. But I guess it was like 5 or 6 years ago, I want to say, that I had this coworker who kept talking about this game she was buying for her boyfriend called Settlers of Catan, and she kept going on about it, and I'm like, what is this game? And I was like, what's it about? And she tried to explain it to me, and when someone just tells you what it is, you're just like, what? That sounds ridiculous. And then she left, and I had another coworker who had this game. I went over, and I was like, you have this game? I've heard so much about it. Let's play it. And that was really it. Once I played it, it was amazing. And the same coworker, he owned Ticket to Ride and Carcassonne and a bunch of others. And after playing all those, my wife and I just really got pretty hooked. And so we play all the time now. And so my wife and I play whenever it's just the two of us. We'll play some games, and then we'll have friends over once or twice a week, and we'll play more, games. So, it really started with Settlers of Catan probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give you my physics joke that I've been waiting to tell you the entire podcast.
Don't give me the punchline. Just give me the joke to see if I know it.
I'm gonna give it to you. All right. So, all right. How does a quantum mechanic get into his shop? He doesn't use the doors or windows.
I have no idea.
He vibrates his cells fast enough that he just passes through the wall.
That was awesome.
I know, right?
You don't really hear many physics jokes.
But because no one really gets them unless you're really good at
One of my favorite science-related jokes is from Fallout, where he goes, "Atoms have mass? I didn't even know they were Catholic." Yeah. There's not much on the question spectrum that I haven't found any. Hold on.
Well, here's some more news. Player's Handbook 3.5 is now available as a PDF for Dungeons & Dragons, and it's only $14.99.
There's a lot of nice people on the internet who probably would have given you a scanned version of the PDF. So it's good that it's now, legal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not finding much tonight.
Anything on your end, Dan?
Any questions you want to ask us?
No, this is great. I just want to say thank you for having me on and taking the time to, connect with me and let me give my, spiel and talk about my game and my games and what I like to do. I just love talking games, and I really appreciate everything. So.
We'll gladly have you on in the future as well once your Kickstarter's underway. And...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, probably not this week. I'm still trying to finalize things, but maybe in middle of next week, I'll send you the preview link, and you guys can check it out. You can post it if you want. Anyone can, see what they want with it. And if they have questions, definitely shoot me emails or tweets or messages or whatever.
Yeah,
absolutely. Another thing, we're gonna retweet this podcast later tonight. So just watch out for it. It's going to be at the Tavern episode 15.
Yep.
So you can use that as well for any.
Great. Do you mind if I link it on the Kickstarter page?
Yeah, I don't care.
Do
what you
whatever,
want, man.
I mean, if you want people to listen to us talk to you, that's cool with us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe first and see how it sounds.
So with that, this has been episode 15 of At the Tavern. I'm Tyler.
I'm Patrick.
That's Dan.
I'm Dan.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week.